What is going on, everyone, and welcome to r/EntitledParents. Now, if you're wondering to yourself, wait, Jack, I thought you uploaded already earlier today, a few hours ago. Yes, you're right, and this is the second video of the day. If you didn't know already, throughout December, I will be posting 2 videos each and every day, because why not? You know, let's get some more content going, guys. So, yeah, for that reason, guys, you better make sure you are subscribed with notifications on so you never miss one of the next 62 videos across this month. I'm trying to hit 600,000 subscribers by the end of this year. You're probably fed up of hearing me say this by now, but it's a big goal of mine. And if we hit it by the end of 2020, this is going to change color. So, you know, it's in your hands. Brother's girlfriend demands PS5 or Xbox Series X for a family that doesn't play video games. For some background, both my sister and I are gamers, and usually purchase the newest system through pre-orders or shortly after release. My sister, who is currently living with my parents, this is important for later, decided to get a really expensive gaming PC this year instead of the consoles. I, on the other hand, decided I'd get them another year since I just bought myself a new motorcycle. Now, we are not rich, both of our jobs just give us bonuses each year, and we save 10 to 20% a year towards a special splurge gift. My brother is not a gamer. He likes some older Nintendo stuff, but otherwise doesn't play. Neither does my 10-year-old niece or 7-year-old nephew. My brother thinks they're too young and games today are too violent. Now imagine my surprise then, when we get a call from my brother's girlfriend, Marsha, demanding I give her one of the new consoles she knows I pre-ordered. I told her that I didn't pre-order either of them. She asks when I'm getting one, and I tell her I'm not right now, and I couldn't even if I wanted to because they're all sold out everywhere. She flips, tells me that I'm lying, and says she needs one for the kids as a Christmas present because that's all they ask Santa for. Weird. Again, they don't play video games, and I'm pretty sure my brother wouldn't let them. Now, I'm annoyed at her attitude, but I try to stay cool, since I know she has some mental health issues that make her lash out and tantrum when things don't go her way. I ask her why she thinks I'd even care enough to lie, and why she suddenly thinks I just give her one if I had it. She says I must have one, as there's no way neither my sister or I wouldn't get at least one of them, and I should give it to her because I can afford it and I don't do enough for my niece and nephew anyway. It is true, I don't, but I'm barely allowed to see them. I haven't in 3 years, not by choice, and any gift I ever gave them was returned for cash or given to her family because it was deemed too inappropriate for her kids. Dude, how is a giant stuffed tiger inappropriate? So I just stopped giving anything to them, and instead I put money into their college fund every year that my parents created. So do my sister and my parents. It is well known that this woman, Marsha, takes all gifts given to the kids or my brother and hands them to her family, or she returns them for money. She has done since we've known her. So we just don't give her anything anymore. I listened to her screaming murder at me for a few minutes before I hang up and call my sister. Now, she has no idea how Marsha knew she didn't get the consoles. Marsha never even contacted her. My sister goes to talk to our parents, and it turns out that Marsha brought the kids over for a visit today. My parents haven't seen the kids in 3 years either. Now, my parents were surprised, but weren't going to turn them away. Apparently, Marsha started talking about Christmas gifts and the new consoles with them to see if they had bought one for either of us. She gets a no, as they would never spend that much on us, as we've told them not to since they're on disability and don't have much money. She asks if my sister has bought one and gets another no from my parents. Then she gets upset and starts fidgeting and looks angry, so she leaves to use the restroom upstairs by my sister's room. She was up there for a long time, but my parents figured it was to calm herself. Now, we think she was actually looking through my sister's stuff to try to find the new console. When she couldn't find one, she left right after coming downstairs and called me shortly after. She has since been calling and leaving angry rant messages and texts. I blocked her and don't really care, as I have never had a good relationship with her anyway. This woman has hurt my family countless times in the past 15 years, and she still has the audacity to demand a new console. I really wish I knew why, or for who though. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I think it's pretty obvious who Marsha is trying to get a PS5 or an Xbox Series X for herself. I mean, if you can't work that out, OP, then, you know, it's just so obvious. I mean, none of her family play games or are allowed to play games, so who's the only one left in that whole picture? It's Marsha. A very sneaky one. I kind of rate that she's trying to get a PS5, but yeah, probably not the best way to go about it. They are out of stock, but yeah, just pay for one if you really want one. Just pre-order one like everyone else did and got one. I don't know. Yeah, don't try and steal off your family for Christmas. That is very, very weird. Before we move on to our next story, guys, I just want to let you know about my Redditor clothing. It's the perfect Christmas gift. As you can see on screen, I'm repping some t-shirts right now. We've also got loads of hoodies in different colors as well. If you want some of that for Christmas, now is the best time to get it to make sure it arrives in time for the big day. The link to that is behind the I button right now, the description and the pinned comment. So yeah, go and check it out, and it massively supports my channel. Now moving on to our next story, entitled Woman Gets the Boot from Doctor's Office. I work at a podiatrist's office as an x-ray tech. Most of our patients are elderly and are near and dear to my heart. The kind of people who are like second grandparents to you, whose feet you happen to be very acquainted with. Then there's patients like this woman. We'll call her Lynn. Lynn is that kind of woman that will be sickly sweet to your face and then complain like you killed her puppy to your superiors. We would dread looking at the schedule to see her name on the daily patient appointment list. Some of my co-workers, in fact, have flat out refused to take her back to a patient room and get vital signs, prep her room, etc. Everyone at my office has a "that idiot Lynn did this to me" story. It's practically a rite of passage. At this point, she has been coming to our office for about 3 years. In my own personal experience with her, she acted kind to my face, but slightly entitled. She complained about something I did to my doctor, and to be honest, it was so mundane, neither I or the doctor she complained to, who owns our practice, took it seriously. The doctor even flat out said, "Oh, Lynn complained about you, OP, but she complains about everyone." When she didn't get the proper reaction she expected from the doctor, again, the doctor thought it was mundane and said she would speak to me about this problem. She then tried to call a day or so later and speak to our office manager. My co-worker picked up the phone and spoke to her. Lynn had complained to the doctor that owned the practice, so she couldn't exactly take it to anyone higher up in our office food chain. She had the nerve to say, "I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but I think it needs to be addressed. Lady, you went out of your way twice to complain about me. You wanted me to get in trouble." On to the main event now. Lynn finally gets her comeuppance. I was on maternity leave when this happened, so this is secondhand from my co-worker who isn't a Redditor, unlike me. Lynn came into the office in apparently a very foul mood, more so than usual anyway. One of our nurses called Lynn back to her room 3 minutes after her scheduled appointment time. Lynn proceeded to contradict all of this nurse's questions and information she had about the appointment just out of spite. Stuff like, Nurse 1 says, "Lynn, your blood pressure is 142/90. That's not right. My blood pressure is usually 140/80. The Nurse 1, being an older woman and over the years of Lynn's BS, said, "Okay then." Then, when the doctor came in, Lynn started demanding that, "You have to give me an injection. My feet hurt and you're gonna fix it now." The doctor's policy is that these injections, which can help with certain types of foot pain, are a once in every 3 months deal. And if something stronger is needed, they'll look at physical therapy so they don't just throw pain pills at you. Now, Lynn had had her injection about 1 week ago and constantly refused physical therapy despite having no valid or medical reason to not go. She was very obese and very lazy. She just wanted a solution now and didn't want to correct things in her life that would easily stop the problem for good, instead of temporarily. Then, Lynn demanded new diabetic shoes. Now, normally, we do offer this service with one nurse, let's call her Nurse 2, that is some sort of certification that only she has to take the measurements for these shoes. However, Lynn had burned that bridge a long time ago because she had repeatedly treated Nurse 2 like garbage and called her a female dog. Nurse 2 had long ago refused to measure her ever again. The doctor, knowing this, told Lynn that she would send orders for new diabetic shoes to another company we work with in the area that does this sort of thing. But Lynn didn't want shoes from them. She wanted them from us. The doctor, not wanting to throw Nurse 2 under the bus, simply told her we weren't offering diabetic shoes at this time from our office. Lynn kept getting angrier, but had no choice but to accept defeat that she wasn't getting what she wanted, schedule her next appointments, and pay her copay. She went to our receptionist window and concluded her business and headed out to the parking lot. She had paid with a credit card, and our receptionist asked her if she wanted her receipt, to which she replied, "No, why would I want that?" She then proceeds to stomp on out to her car. 3 minutes later, she calls our receptionist from the parking lot. She was angry. "You need to print me off a receipt for our transaction today. Why wasn't I given one?" The receptionist replied, "Mom, I offered it to you before you left. I can send it to you in the mail, or you can pick it up from our office at your convenience." "You did not offer me my receipt. I'm in the parking lot. You need to bring it out to me now," Lynn replied. "Mom, you can come back inside and get it, or I can send it to you in the mail. I can't leave my desk as I'm the only receptionist in the office today." "You have to bring it out to me now. My legs hurt and I can't walk in there." This was a load of rubbish. She literally just walked out of the building just fine and had no leg injuries. At this point, Lynn just starts yelling about how she doesn't deserve to be treated like this and how someone needs to bring her the receipt now, yada yada yada. It's so loud that Nurse 2 can hear Lynn yelling on the phone from several feet away. Nurse 2 asks if it's Lynn on the phone, and the receptionist confirms it is. Nurse 2 actually asks for the phone and says she'll handle this. "Hello, this is Nurse 2. How can I help you?" Lynn is still yelling. "You need to bring me my receipt now. My legs hurt and you need to bring it now. I should have been offered it in the first place when I checked out. This is ridiculous. You're all incompetent. Bring it to me now." "Mom, your legs seem to be working just fine when you walked out of the office. Now you can either come in and get your paper yourself, or we can mail it to you." Lynn just starts yelling incoherently, repeatedly calling Nurse 2 a female dog, etc. "You have a nice day, Mom," and then Nurse 2 hangs up. Nurse 2 told me how great it felt to just call Lynn out on her BS. I felt the satisfaction from the story when Nurse 2 told me about it a couple weeks later when I returned from maternity leave. But it gets better. Apparently, the doctor that was working that day, we have two, and they rotate days they work and surgery days, had overheard Lynn's yelling on the phone and was not having the way Lynn treated the entire staff. She told our other doctor, the one that owns the practice, and they agreed that they would dismiss her from the practice. So, the rest of my work days are looking a lot more Lynn-less every day I go in, and it's a wonderful life. Oh, Lynn, yeah, just again, like the first story, not a very nice person, really. Just goes into the doctors, does whatever she wants, expects everyone to, I don't know, do whatever she asks just because she's the customer, I guess. But there are rules and regulations, Lynn. You can't just do what you want in a doctor's office. Because at the end of the day, if the nurses hate you, they're probably not going to look after you. And realistically, right, surely the nurses and the doctors are the people that you want to be nice to. I mean, even if you're not a nice person and you're rude to the majority of people that you come across every day, nurses and doctors are the sort of people who are probably going to save your life at some point. And they're helping you out right now, giving you injections and medicine and stuff. So, of all people, why be mean to them? It makes no sense. But yeah, you got what you deserve, Lynn. You're kicked out and you're never coming back. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of r/EntitledParents. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did and you're excited for 62 videos across December, then make sure to subscribe over here and press the notification bell so you get a notification every time I post a video. Also, if you want more right away, there is a lot coming, but you may want some more, check out this playlist of all my Entitled Parents videos, and I will see you tomorrow afternoon probably, with a brand new upload.